But out of all the methods I used, the one I used for my maths exam is the one I'm most proud of. Like, if you ask me, that's my most ingenious method. I was just there like... And I remember my heart was pounding hard. And I started shaking a bit too. I probably looked guilty as hell. Hey guys, I am Charlotte the Starlet. These are the girls, Angel and Glitter, and this is my little boy Seth. And today I'm going to be doing a brand new type of video. I'm going to be doing a story time about the times I cheated on some very important exams. I'm not going to say exactly which exams, but they mattered. Let's get into this. Hold on, let me actually explain the reasons why I decided to cheat, okay? It is not a decision I made lightly. Do you guys see what's in that corner? Crutches. There's a reason for that. I have sickle cell disease. If you don't know what that is, basically, some of my red blood cells are misshapen. They're basically like the shape of a banana, and they get stuck in my veins sometimes, which causes an immense amount of pain. It basically feels like you're being stabbed over and over again by flaming swords. I wish I was kidding. I swear I'm not exaggerating in the slightest. And it's not that it just causes a bit of pain. Like, it actually does damage to the body. Like, because it blocks my veins, that stops oxygen getting to some parts of my body. And so those parts of the body start to die, which causes even more pain. And so because of all that, there was about a 10-year period in my life where I used a wheelchair and crutches. It was like from when I was about 8 till around 18. I'm 21 right now, and thankfully I don't need them as much. I only need crutches and a wheelchair where my pain gets really, really bad. But for pretty much the whole time I was in secondary school, I was in a wheelchair. However, throughout my whole time at secondary school, 5 years, about every few weeks, I would have what's called a sickle cell crisis, which means I have to go to the hospital for anywhere between a week and a month, which meant that I missed a lot of school. Like, the attendance percentage that students were supposed to aim for was 95%. My attendance percentage was somewhere around 30%. I was only in school about 30% of the time, which meant that I missed out on work and I fell behind everyone else. And when it came to exams, I usually struggled. And so by the time I was in my final year at secondary school and I was preparing for my big important exams, I had to hustle and hope for the best. But I had zero confidence in my ability to pass my exams on studying alone. Even though I was doing my damn best to study for like 3 months straight, I thought it wouldn't be good enough. So by the time my exam date rolled around, I made a few plans. I did still study as much as I could. In an attempt to make things a bit easier for me, my teachers arranged for me to only do 5 exams compared to like all the other students who had to prepare for like 12 exams. I only had to worry about the main ones: English, science, and math. I had 2 English exams, 2 science exams, and 1 math exam. So the very first exam I had was biology. I remember it was after lunch. So what I did was I spent my whole lunch period copying down notes from a textbook on the parts that I struggled most with, and I basically made a kind of cheat sheet. And what I did was I folded the sheet up into a really small square and I slipped it into my shoe and then just waited. I waited until lunch finished and it was time for the exam. And oh my days, I was bricking it. I was petrified despite all the studying I did and having notes in my shoe. So I went into the room. I was in like a separate room. The majority of students did the exam in like the main hall, but the students who needed like extra support did it in a separate room, and that's where I went. So yeah, I went into the exam, sat down at my place, and I remember before we could start the exam, we all had to like roll up our sleeves and let the teacher see our hands in case like anyone tried to you know, write notes on their arm. And after the teachers checked all of us, we started. So yeah, like I said, I had those notes in my shoe, but do you know what I did? I completely bottled it. I was too scared to take the notes out of my shoes and have a little peek at them. So I just left it there in my shoe the whole exam. And I remember, oh my god, at one point in the exam, I got to a question I really struggled with, and I became so damn desperate. I tried summoning the words from my shoe, up my leg, all the way to my head. But oh my god, I cannot for the life of me remember. And it was so upsetting knowing that the answers were so near but yet so far. Like, there was no way I would have been able to sneak the paper out of my shoe because I was sat right at the front in front of the teacher's desk. Like, what was I supposed to do? So eventually the exam ended and I exited that room feeling so damn stupid. So anyway, my next exam the next day was physics, and I came up with a new method. This time, what I did was, before I went to school, I woke up a couple hours early, and again, I copied down some notes from the textbook. But this time, instead of like slipping it in my shoe, I put the sheet in this folder along with my other books that was kind of transparent. I remember we had to have like clear everything for our exams. Clear folders, we had to have clear pencil cases, clear water bottles, everything. We literally weren't allowed to have any brand of water. We'd literally have to peel the label off and throw it away because apparently someone like generations ago tried to cheat using the label of a water bottle. But yeah, when we got to the exam room, we had to put all our stuff under the table. Like, we were only allowed to have our exam on the desk. So what I did was I strategically placed everything under the table. Like my pencil case and my other books I practically threw under there, but the folder I placed right next to my feet. So as I was doing the exam, I could just like, you know, have a little peek over the desk and read my notes through the clear folder. And ayo, that worked like a dream. That worked like a dream. No one suspected a thing. So I got through that exam okay. Right, and so the next exam I cheated on was maths. Maths is my worst subject. I am awful at math. And once again, I use a different method. If I'm honest, I really shouldn't be saying this, but out of all the methods I used, the one I used for my maths exam is the one I'm most proud of. Like, if you ask me, that's my most ingenious method. Welcome to me second guessing this video. See, the problem is, I'm supposed to be setting a good example for my nieces, damn it. No, you know what, it's fine. All I have to say is, no, you cannot watch Auntie Charlotte's YouTube videos. It's fine, it's calm. Anyway, as I was saying, this is my most ingenious cheating method. As per usual, I wrote a sheet of notes. But before my exam started, I made sure to make a quick stop at the office / medical room. And what I did was I asked for a hot water bottle. I was just like, miss, I'm having some cramps. Can I take a hot water bottle in my exam, please? And they were like, yeah, of course you can. So I rocked up to my maths exam in my wheelchair with a hot water bottle, and my wheelchair comes with a cushion that's kind of separate from the seat. Like, what you do when you unfold the wheelchair is you open it up, make sure the seat is nice and straight, put the cushion on and sit on that. And so I slid my note under the seat, right? Waited for the teachers arrive, waited for them to check everyone, waited for them to check my hot water bottle to make sure I didn't sneak anything in. And then when they officially started the exam and turned their back, I slid my notes out from under my seat and slipped them into the hot water bottle. Not like in the water bit, but between the rubber and the hot water bottle, like cover. I slipped it in there so that I could just slip them out if I needed to peek at my notes. I knew I had to wait for them to check the whole water bottle first though. Like, I saw them do this for some other girl. And once again, worked like a charm. No one suspected anything. Okay, so now onto the fourth and final way I cheated on my exams. This attempt did not go well. It flopped hard. What I'm basically saying is I got caught. And even I have to admit that this was ridiculous. It was the most obvious way as well. For one of my English exams, I went for the good old copying notes onto my hands technique. I'm not gonna lie, this was done out of desperation. I woke up later than I wanted to, and before I got to school, I was just sat at home panicking. Even though it was an English exam, which is my best subject, like I said before, I just had no confidence in my ability. So before I left for school, I just copied some stuff down onto both my hands and my wrists. Like, I know it was obvious, but I didn't have any other ideas. I was just hoping to God that I could just keep my hands covered for the whole 2-hour exam. Honestly, the reason I picked this method was purely because I knew there was a chance that the teachers weren't gonna check. Like 80% of the time they check, but 20% of the time they don't. But like I did say before, I got caught. When I got to the exam room, I took my seat as usual, but then the teachers started going around checking, and I was just there like, my whole body went numb. And I remember my heart was pounding hard, and I started shaking a bit too. I probably looked guilty as hell. And so when the teacher got to me, I had to show her my arms. She asked me to roll up my sleeves. And so obviously she saw the writing on my wrist. And all she said was, "Step outside." So I hopped on my little crutches and went into the hallway with the teachers. And they asked, "What is that?" I said something along the lines of, "Oh, it's nothing related to schoolwork. I've just been having trouble remembering everything I need to do because I've been studying so much. I forgot it was there." And so the teacher was just like, "Just go wash it off." So I did. It doesn't end there though. Like I said, I wrote on my hands, and the teacher only saw my wrists where I had like just a few bullet points. When they were checking my arms, I kept my hands closed. It's a damn miracle they didn't see the writing on my hand, because my hands were almost completely black from the ink. Like, if you saw my hands from far away, it would have looked almost solid black. I'd written on every damn square inch of my hands, both of them. And if I'm honest, I still can't believe it. I still can't believe that they somehow missed that. So, when the teacher sent me to the toilet to go wash my hands, I tried to take as long as possible so that I had one last chance to look over my notes before I washed them away for good. And thankfully, the teachers were nice enough to actually let me do the exam. Because if you get caught cheating, usually you automatically fail. You're not supposed to do the exam at all. That right there is proof that teachers do have hearts. So yeah, that was pretty much my exams done. Fast forward a few months, when I get my results, do you know how they turned out? I passed every single one, even maths. To this day, I genuinely don't know how I did it. I'm sorry, but with a 30% attendance record, that's impressive. I don't care what anyone says. On my days when it came to opening my results, I was so stressed over them that I basically convinced myself I'd failed. I was stressed to the point where I'd looked up options to resit my exams that I hadn't even got the results of yet. Even when I did have the results literally in my hands, I didn't want to open them because I didn't want to actually confirm my worst fears. The only reason I did open them was because I was literally on the bus headed towards the shopping center to buy textbooks to study for the exams I planned to redo. That was the only reason I opened my results. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give that like button a little kiss and subscribe to become a starlet. Don't forget to follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!